Exit made this.
We gon' run up the check, run up the tab, run up the bill.
So, welcome to another episode of Business Fumbles. I am your host, Sheila Williams, and today's guest is someone that I have been knowing for a few years. And guess what, people? He's coming from a different country, and he's going to give you all of the information you need in starting a business over here in the States. So, without further ado, I'm going to have him introduce himself and tell people how they can find him.
Hello, my name is Mutalim. I'm from Azerbaijan. I'm 37 years old. I moved to Vegas 2 years before to open the restaurant here. And our restaurant, it's calling Nukha. It's Mediterranean food, which located in the town square. I also have more than 13 years experience in the restaurant business. And that's why my dream was to move to US and open something here and see how it's going.
Wow. Okay. So, with that being said, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about Nukha? Because I've been there and the atmosphere is just wonderful. And it's a different sort of concept and feeling when you go in there. Was that, a part of your culture at home? What inspired you to do, what you did with Nukha here?
Yeah, Nukha, it's how I told before, it's Mediterranean restaurants. It's not big, it's small restaurants for 65 seats.
Mm-hmm.
And we also serve hookah.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the difference between our restaurants and another hookah places in US and in Vegas? We are like fine dining restaurants and lounge. You can come and you can see the huge food menu in our restaurants, the big cocktails menu in our restaurants, and also you can smoke hookah. That's what little bit different between our place and another hookah lounges in Vegas.
Yeah. My a couple of my employees, they went to your restaurant and they talk about your hookah and how different it is. Are you getting your hookah from a different, maybe from a different country or something? Because, what she says is that it's just smooth.
Yeah, in our country, hookah it's like national culture. Everybody can make hookah in our home. Like in US, everybody can make burgers. You can go to the you can go to some place and make barbecue, make burgers. The same in our country. Everybody can make hookah. Everybody do hookah for themselves at home,
Mhm.
and that's why we know how we need to make hookah. And we also use high quality product for hookah, especially tobacco, charcoals. Our hookah brand very high quality. That's why on the end we have good product and people love our hookah.
Yeah, I mean, I've had so many raves about it, and I don't smoke. So when people say, "Oh, man, this is the best hookah I had," and I'm looking at them like, "What? We got hookah places all over here. How is that the best?" And but now you explained it, and that's probably why.
Yeah.
So being in the U.S., I know that in your country you had a lot of restaurants already. You already said you have a lot of experience
Yeah.
in the restaurant industry. How is it different here than versus when you're at home?
In totally restaurant business, it's the same in everywhere in the world. How I think, but yeah, of course, in US it's little. We have little bit difference. What's the difference? The difference is more about the some expenses. In US, that's expenses. It's a little bit higher than in our country. For example, the same. It's a rent. If you found some good location for your restaurants, it's also the payroll. The payroll in US is huge. Yeah, in our country, you pay for all employers monthly payment, not hourly. How is here?
Oh,
That's
okay.
why it's here. It's when you just when we just open the restaurants, it was too much mistakes. Why? Because we're thinking, oh, okay, we are going slow, but it's okay. For example, we can have 3, 4 waiters on the floor. We can have hostess on the floor. But now it's not working like this in US. In US, you need to fix it. You need to cut it people when you go slow. You
Mm-hmm.
need to check your payroll every day. For example, we check our payroll, like what we pay today for people and which sales we did today, and we
Mm-hmm.
see to percentage. If it's percentage more than 13%,
Mm-hmm.
it means you are not good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it need to be less, little bit less. It need to be between 10 percentage and 13 percentage.
Right.
Yeah.
And how difficult was that for you? Because that was a big difference. That was something that was different from your, your country. So you going through that, how, stress wise,
Oh, it
how did
was,
that affect you?
yeah, it was too much stress, especially when I just opened the restaurants,
Mm-hmm.
because it's like I burned second time. In 35 years I moved to US. I moved to here not alone, with my wife, with my son, and you didn't know any rules. You didn't know any companies, any people don't know you, like the employer which you hire, they not trust you too much. They don't know how you know your business, how long your business will work, and the same the customers. The customers didn't trust you. They don't know what's the quality of the food, what's the quality of the service you have in your restaurants, what's the quality of the hookah, the same, what's the quality of the drinks. And that's why on the beginning it was too hard, it was too much stress. I working every day from the start to the end. It's,
Yeah.
yeah.
You would always say, I'm so tired.
Yeah,
you
it's,
know.
yeah, it was too hard, but day by day it's go easy and easy, because your employers start to understand
Mm-hmm.
if the restaurant's going better day by day, if we have more regular customer day by day, if we do better sales day by day, it means we know what we do.
Yeah. And, starting off, I know I was there with you when you first started off, and it was a very slow start. But how did you get more people to come into Nukha? Because, we have saw your sales, go from low to high, and each month is growing and growing, and you know, you're right there and you're helping it to grow. What did you use to get it to where it's at now?
Oh, we do too much stuff. You already know we very push our marketing, our social media. We make good posting to our Instagram, Facebook. We pushing to have good reviews from our customers also in our Google and Yelp pages, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But the main promotion, the big marketing for your restaurants is your happy customers.
Right.
When your customers is happy, they are going and speak about this with their friends, family, and they start to coming also.
Yeah.
Yeah, your customers need to be happy, and that's like the main rules.
Yeah. Well, here, I know in the States, this is an issue for mostly every single restaurant that I know. And I wanted to get your thoughts on that. And that is, how hard is it to find good employees?
Oh, it's very hard. It's very hard. That's why we have too much rotations also. And in Vegas, I think it's double hard, because all good employers, their dream to work on the strip in some good hotels and in some good restaurants in that hotel. That's why, like, all employers which coming to your restaurants, they're thinking about the strip to go some good hotels and working there on the end. But when your employers see the good numbers, they
Mm-hmm.
see the good tips
Mm-hmm.
and good sales, good customers, yes, they want to stay with you. But how I told before, the first 6 months it was too hard, but now we're working only 1 year, little bit more than 1 year. It's 1 year 5 months, but
Yes.
we have employees who working with us more than 1 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It just took a while,
yeah.
because hey, I'm in Las Vegas and running my accounting firm, I can never find good help. So, and I have other restaurants that we deal with, and they all are saying the same thing. Like, because I'm looking at the numbers, and I've had that conversation with you saying, okay, we need better people. And you're like, where are we going to get them? So I know that that is a common thing that most people deal with. Now, having a restaurant, there's a lot of things that people that own a restaurant have to deal with. And I'm just going to name a couple of them. And I want to hear from you how you deal with that. Number one, in the restaurant, because you have a variety of different people working there. And so many people take offense at little things that in your mind you're like, this is not a problem, but they blow it out of proportion. And, the women have become very sensitive. If you say something or compliment them is considered sexual harassment now. Or, an employee, a manager, being a manager, it's your job to make sure that that restaurant is going and is going good. So sometimes when you see those little things that your employees should get automatically, and it takes that manager into another frame where they're saying, hey, just do it. And now people are saying, oh, well, now it's a hostile environment. How do you deal with all of that?
Oh, you need to be flexible.
Mhm.
How Bruce Lee told you need to be like water.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to be like water. You need to understand how the people feeling all what you say,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why like how I told before, day by day, it's all close to your experience.
Mm-hmm.
Day by day, you have more experience, and you understand how you need to speak with your customers, when you with your employers, when you happy with there, when you're not happy with there, when your employers not happy with you, or maybe
Mm-hmm.
the customers not happy with you, and day by day you can fix it more easy.
Yeah. Yep. That I would have to agree with you on that because I know with me, I am a straightforward type person. So, and you've seen me in action, like when it's certain things, that I feel like should be done. And, usually I'm this happy go lucky and I'm smiling and I'm laughing. But when something goes wrong, the face is just like, okay, it should have been done. Why wasn't it done? So I have, someone here that sort of like looks at me or steps in and say, I'm going to take care of this because I know that I'm going to be like, no, okay, this is simple and you should be able to get it. And sometimes, they don't. But just like you said, you have to be flexible,
Yeah, you have to be.
and when you have someone to tap you a little bit and say, okay, you're going in the wrong direction, it sort of helps because running a business is not easy,
Yeah,
um
especially restaurant business.
right. So why don't you tell the people how your day starts, like how long your day is and your opening and closing hours, so that they can get a gist of just how much work it requires.
Oh, how I told before, on the beginning, it's too much. It's more than 12, 13 hours in the day sometimes. It depends when your restaurants open. Our restaurants before was open from 12, but now we are changing our time from 4 because we are have customer only. We can have customer only 21 plus because we serve hookah.
Mm-hmm.
And on the beginning, we are working like me working more than 12, 13 hours in a day. Now it's a little bit less because we are just open from 4 and we are going close at 1 on the midweek and 2 on the weekends. But again, I have too much stuff before the restaurants open. I need to come to my accountant to hear, yeah, to speak about like sales, everything, and
Yeah.
also about the HR stuff.
Mhm.
I need to sometimes I need to found something for my restaurants, go to some companies, speak about our restaurants, about the catering for there, about the promotion of our restaurants. That's why I never calculated like how many hours I working in the day because I can going crazy if I will start calculating that. That's why yeah I just work. I understand that's what I want to do
Mhm.
and that's my road. You know,
Mhm.
I moved to US and I starting from zero and I'm ready for this.
You ready for
Yeah.
it, huh? And you mentioned that you came here with your wife.
Yeah.
Seeing that you're in a whole new place and you have to spend so many hours at work. How do you balance your home life and keeping the home happy as well as, making sure that the restaurant is running appropriately,
Yeah.
you know?
That's hard. That's really hard. Yeah. That's really hard. Yeah, but what is good, she's adapt for me
Mhm.
for my business because I told in our country I had around 8, 9 restaurants and there
Mhm.
was all different concepts from the
Mhm.
club, after house, national cuisine restaurants, Asian restaurants, pub, kids restaurants. That's why in our country, my daily graphic was the same. I'm going
Mhm.
from the morning and still in the work till night.
Mhm.
Uh, that's why it's a little bit hard, but she's understand we do it. I'm do this for our future.
Right.
Yeah,
And that's good to have a supporting spouse, that understands. And of course, she understood what she was signing up for
yeah.
because you've been doing this for so long. So it sort of makes it easy. Now, I notice, especially over in Las Vegas, there are a lot of people coming in, foreigners coming in. What are some of the things you would want them to know that you did not know coming over and that you had to learn from? You had to learn these things. And if you did it now, how different your life would be. What would be some of the things for them to consider?
Oh, I can speak only about the restaurant business. If
Mm-hmm.
somebody moved to US, to Las Vegas, doesn't matter. The first about what they need to think is location.
Mm-hmm.
Because after you open your restaurants, you can fix or change everything. You can change your food, your service, your concept. You can change everything, your POS system, but you can't change your location. That's why yeah, location is very, very important. Yeah, maybe you can find some location and the rents will be higher there, but don't afraid, it can be, but this place bring for you more people,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, more traffic. That's why location is very, very important.
Do you think that Town Square was a good location for you
town,
guys?
Squ- Town Square, especially in Vegas, it's very hard to have restaurants out of the strip. How you told me when I
Mm-hmm.
just opened the restaurants, you told me
Yeah.
if your restaurants will be working in Vegas, it's mean your restaurants will be working everywhere in US. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because in Vegas you have strip and strip concurrented with you very hard,
Yes.
and all tourists who come to Vegas, they want to see the strip, they
Strip.
want to
Yeah.
see these big hotels, nice restaurants, and
Mm-hmm.
their investments there too much. You can't invest in your
Yeah.
business the same.
Yes.
That's why, yeah, it's very hard. But I think Town Square is good location. It's good location for tourists because it's not far from the
From the
strip.
strip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same road. It's Las Vegas
Yes.
Boulevard and it's on the middle between right side and
Mm-hmm.
left side.
Yeah.
I mean it's between it's on the middle between the Henderson and
Mm-hmm.
Summerlin.
Yeah.
That's why people come to our restaurants from the
Yeah.
all all places.
Well, like for me, since I've moved here, like, and I visited over into the town square area, I loved it. But now my husband, he's like, I don't like that area. And his reasoning and a lot of other reasonings is, oh, town square is just too bougie. And it's like, where are you saying that I'm bougie? Because I'm not. I just like the whole atmosphere. And I noticed that the scene in your restaurant is growing. It's growing tremendously. So that speaks about the service that you're giving. And I've been there. The food is good. Everything is good. The atmosphere, the music, I think you caught me a couple of times on the dance floor and you got videos
Yeah.
and put it on your page, like putting me on blast. That's not cool, but I always have a lot of fun when I come there, so I would suggest anyone to try it out. Nukha is in Town Square. Very, very good restaurant, and the owners are, you know, they're just really, really good, level headed people. And they want to treat you good and be good toward you. So that's a plus, So now I want to take this time to allow you to talk, to people, that's from your country or people that's wanting to come here to the state. Tell them about your experience, how the people are, some of the shockers, the things that shocked you when you got here, like, wait a minute, we don't do that over here, and the people that you have met and you dealt with, because I know with your business, like you started off with one payroll service, then you went to another one, and
Yeah.
then there's another issue with that. And then just dealing with people in general. I'm like your second accountant. It's different things that you had to deal with. Tell the people out there, some of the things that you have experienced, you enjoyed, and you haven't enjoyed.
uh, right now I start to be enjoy little bit day by day, but yeah, when people want to open something, they don't need to rush, they need to take their time and start to make everything like piece by piece, because when you rush, you can do too much mistakes. You
Mm-hmm.
can start to work with wrong people, with how I told you can start to make your business in wrong place, and that's everything on the end effect on your business, on yourself, because you start to going to too much stress. And the difference between uh, our country and here, it's not too much, because maybe in our country I working with huge company which already have uh, good franchises restaurants,
Mm-hmm.
and I know how it's need to be work with big companies.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, difference of course we have difference here
Mm-hmm.
between our country and the US, and it's difference everywhere. It's difference with POS systems, it's working difference, the accounting systems working difference, the payroll systems working difference. That's why on the beginning you're going to too much stress. And what my recommendations for people who want to open restaurant business in US, it's better if you move to US and you start to working in some restaurants which close to your concept which you want to open. For example, if you want to open Mediterranean food restaurants, you can found some restaurants. You can start working there. Doesn't matter. You can start working there like bartender, waiter, busser, what you can do. but you need to have some experience in US, because without experience, start to open business, it's
Mm-hmm.
very hard, because you don't know how people thinking here, how they're feeling here. But if you will working in some places which concepts very close to your concepts, you will understand. For you will understand what the people like to eat here, what they don't like eat here. It will be
Mm-hmm.
easy for you to add these items in your menu in the future. You will understand like what's the really cost of the food here, because maybe some items on the food is very high price.
Mm-hmm.
And too much another options. It's better if you come and start working in some restaurants, in some company, and then open your own business to have little bit experience.
Well, that's a very good idea because I mean, I wouldn't even thought about that, and that's perfect because then they get to see how people, how Americans, act and how they, their costs, like you said. You see how the restaurant is. You see, because there's a lot of restaurants that open and then they close, especially here in Las
Yeah,
Vegas. So you have to have, you have to learn how to get the people in and how to get that, you know, that good vibe that people want to go to. So
yeah, of
that's an
course.
excellent idea. That would, man, if I was from a different country, I would do it.
Yeah, sometimes I think people thinking, "Oh, I have my own business in my country. Why I need to work here for somebody?" But
Uh-huh.
it's not like this. You need to understand. You need to know the rules.
Mhm.
Yeah, you need to learn the rules and
Yeah.
then open your business. It will be easy. It will help for you in the future. Too much.
That is so true because I know ever since I was a little girl, I knew that I wanted to do something on my own. So when I was in the working, you know, when I worked for like CPA firms, large corporations, being a CFO, being, a controller, senior accountant, staff accountant. Then I went into being an assistant buyer. And my mom was like, "What? Why would you want to do that?" She didn't understand it. And then I went from that to doing door to door sales. And then I went to do sales, just like in a corporation, sales, and just doing all kinds of things. And then I worked for one of the accounting temp agency, Robert Half. I worked for them for 5 years as just a consultant. So I went into colleges. I went into all different kinds of different places. And a lot of times people would say, "That girl over there is confused. One minute she wants to do this, that one minute she wants to do that." But now my family understand. It helped me to be well rounded. I understand all different things when things are thrown at me. I get it. I even looked at, sat in courtrooms and watched them, rule over, corporate, you know, corporate people being sued by the employees and watching each one lose. And I'm looking like, wait a minute, but they had that, um, they had the handbook, they had this or that, and it was just learning that simple words within that handbook sort of like eliminated different laws, like the at will state, and so you would go into the courtrooms and
Yeah.
they would be talking about the case and you're sitting there like, "Oh, they're going to lose. This is an at will state." And then the judge is like, "You're going to pay them and you're going to," I'm like, "Wait a minute, what?" It blew my mind. So having all of that, it prepared me for what I'm doing now. There's not an industry. I even was in the music industry as a manager, dealing with the contracts. And, my artists had major contracts, like contracts that was $400 or $500, 400 or 500 pages.
Okay.
of going through and me sitting with the attorneys and them saying, like doing the research and understanding the verbiage, knowing how to go in and say, hey, well, if you're gonna sign my artist, you're a major, company. How many artists do you have on your roster? Where does she fall? You're not gonna shelf her. She's not gonna be on the end. Learning all of that
Yeah.
has prepared me for where I'm at now. So when things are thrown at me, it's like, done that, been there, not gonna work. So that's a really, really good, a very good, advice to give to them. And trust me, he knows. So you really, really should get a job first and see how things are. Because another thing that I wanted to touch on, and I want him to talk about it, is coming from another country and dealing with the state agencies. How was that for you?
Our experience was not easy because when we start to open our restaurants, it was COVID period,
Mm-hmm.
and on the COVID period, all licensing takes too much time because the company working like with half of their employers and something like this. That's why we wait too long. We wait too long, and especially because we serve also hookah, we
Mm-hmm.
need to have hookah license.
Mm-hmm.
We need to have hookah license. We need to have alcohol sales license. We need to have business license, and all this takes time. Yeah, and also we need to have the live performance license, the DJ
License.
license. Yeah, when you need to have the DJ license, you need to show the place where the DJ will play, the stage where the DJ will play, and yeah, it's took too much time, and it was not easy
Mm-hmm.
figure out of all of this, and we had some problem with our license agent. How
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was some problem with her, but on the end we fix it all of
Yeah.
this. Yeah, but all this license they need to be upgraded every years.
Yes.
Yeah, and every years from Clark County the agent coming, they're checking everything, like uh, like everything is okay or
Yeah.
not.
I know
Yeah.
here in Las Vegas, like some states, it's not like that. But in Las Vegas, like we're in my company now, and the agents will just walk in here and they look on the wall to see if you have all your license. They're checking your fire extinguisher. I got a ticket, that I had to pay. It wasn't that much. But because I didn't have you know, my fire extinguisher, I had to have it serviced every year, and I hadn't had it serviced. So, she says, "Oh, well, I'll give you 30 days to service it." And I was out of town, and so my manager called and said, "Well, they're going to give you a ticket." And I'm like, "What the? Nobody told me that they were coming by." But in Las Vegas, they have the right to just come in here. Like, I literally have to have on my door this sticker that says that this door must be open. I didn't have that on there, and they gave me another ticket. I didn't have to pay anything. They just told me I had to get it fixed. So it is very, very particular. And another thing that we experienced, because I was going down there too, is you go down there, you fill out the application, and you're thinking you're doing everything.
Yeah.
And then they come back and they say, "Oh, well, we need this and we need that." And they will have you come back down there 4 or 5 times. And each time you sit down, "Oh, well, you did this, but now you need this." And I literally said to the lady, like, "Okay, you guys should have a list put together of the things that they need, because people don't have time to keep running back and forth." So when you're doing your license and when you're doing these things, you need to make sure, ask questions, make it clear. Is all I have to need? Do I need anything else? Ask the questions, pull it out out of them because they will have you coming back and forth. When I moved here from Chicago to get my driver's license in Chicago, all I needed was my birth certificate and my, a piece of mail or something like that. And, just to prove that I was who I said I was. When we moved to Las Vegas, it took me 2 months to get my license because they wanted my birth certificate, they wanted my previous license. Any name that I had to have the marriage license, the divorce degree, all of this stuff. And I'm like, what? I have a license that's in the States,
Yeah.
but it was in Illinois. So they already did that background. But here in Las Vegas, they don't care. You have to have all of that. So it is a lot, it is a lot. And another thing that I wanted to touch on is Las Vegas is huge. It is a huge um state that have so much fraud. How do you deal with that?
Wow, it was hard question.
Well, in Las Vegas it's hard to know if a person is a upright person or is that person just trying to defraud you and get something out of you. You can't sort of be laxed and say, "Hey, I met this business owner. He's legit." And then the next week you hear, "Oh, well, he took Scotty for $60,000." You're like, "What?" I was talking to him. I thought he was nice. How do you deal with that? Being in Las Vegas, being a business owner, having to deal with other people.
Oh, you need to check everything. You need to
Yeah.
check everything, everybody. Yeah, step by step,
So-
piece by piece. Yeah, you remember we had some problem with some employers who
Yeah.
put for themselves different salary also.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, we had all these problems, and you need to check. Just check everything,
Yeah.
everything. Don't think, oh, it's not important. It's maybe that's easy. No, you need to check everything, everybody. Only only working like this, you can fix your all problems, and everything can be
Yeah.
good.
Because they just sneaks it in. Like you said, they just changed their salary just in a week or two, just changed it from one rate to the other because they were the manager and they could do that. And sometimes you're so busy you can't check those things. You're not looking at it. But you've always been very proactive at looking at the POSs, looking at the numbers, and you're like, wait a minute, it's going too high, it's going too big. What's going on? And so you catch things pretty quickly. So that is really some good advice, also. But before we, you know, in this segment, I want you to tell them how they can find you. Like tell them what your social media pages are, you know, talk to them about anything you got coming up that you're working on, let them know how they can, support you and find you and follow you to learn more about, the things that you're doing.
Uh, yeah, they can find me on the Instagram, especially me. Yeah, you asking about especially
Yeah.
me. They can find me on the Instagram, on the Facebook. It's going like my first name and my last name, Mutalim Alishanov. Yeah, I'm not posting too much about my restaurant business in the Vegas because I don't have time for that, unfortunately.
Yes.
Yeah, but I try to do more. I try to do more because I understand it's interesting for people, especially for people who out of the US. It's interesting for there to understand how business working in US. What's the problem you can have? What's the motivation you can have? everything. It's everything interesting for there. That's why, yeah, found me, follow me,
Yeah.
and I hope in the future, yeah, I will posting more and
What?
more about about the restaurants, especially about the restaurants business, and maybe somebody can take something interesting for their self,
Mm-hmm.
and it's help for there also.
Yes. And Nukha also has this on Instagram,
Yeah,
right?
of course, of
Nukha.
course.
So it's Nukha, that's Nukha.
HA, yeah,
Right.
Nukha, Nukha.
Mm-hmm.
Nukha have Instagram, Facebook,
Yeah.
TikTok, yeah, Yelp page, Google
Yes.
page, yeah,
Yeah. So you guys
everything.
check them out,
Yeah,
and
check.
they post a lot of pictures, and I'm telling you the atmosphere. Usually in hookahs places, you it seems a little smoky and stuff like that, but not at all. In their restaurant, I've been several times, and I don't smoke. I've never smoked, but I've never had a problem with their hookah or the place being smoky. So guys, you really really want to check them out, and you know um listening to this, we want to hear from you. We want to hear your comments. If you guys have ideas, any entrepreneur out there that wants to sit in the chair and talk about their experience, that's what Business Fumble is for. So hit us up. Let us know that you're interested in coming on, and join us again next week for another episode of Business Fumbles.
We gon' run up a check, run up tab, run up